let's talk about application and questions that you don't need to answer. This comes up a lot. And you're going to see questions and you are probably familiar with them and say, I don't think that's legal, right? So show of hands here in the chat. If you've ever got on and looked at an online application and said, I don't think that's legal, let me know. And tell us in the chat, what was the question, if you can remember it. But you are not legally required to answer questions around race, I can never say this right, ethnicity, religion, national origin, sex, marital status, sexual orientation, age, or disability. Okay. Now, so you're not legally required to those. So why? This is the big question everybody asks me. Why then, JT, will I get online and I see questions that I know are illegal? Okay. There's generally 3 reasons why. Okay. So reason number 1 is the one we all think, which is the company doesn't care. Like they don't think they're going to get caught and they don't care. And that's how they are. And they're going to ask. Are there a couple companies that think that way? Probably. But that's actually normally not the main reason that that illegal question is there, believe it or not. Okay. The second reason is they're actually ignorant to it. And I know you're like, how is that possible? But you have to understand that companies are often owned and run by people who have no formal HR training. And so they don't even pay attention to that fact. And they've probably never been sued for it. And they don't even think about it. And so they post these questions not realizing that they're illegal. Okay. So that happens way more than you realize. Okay. Because these ATS systems are customizable. They put in the questions that they want to ask. All right. So a lot of these are in there and the companies just don't realize they're doing it. Okay. Because the people that put it together don't realize they're doing it. Now there's a third category, which is sometimes they're actually allowed to ask the question based on a technicality. So for example, if the job required you to lift, say, more than 50 pounds throughout the day, it would matter if you had a disability that would hold you back from doing that. Okay. So when they ask you a question like that, some people might immediately jump and say, oh, they're trying to call out if I have a disability. No, the job might actually require it. So there are times where they have a legal right or ability to ask a question that otherwise for other positions would be considered illegal. Okay. But that being said, you should know you're not legally required to answer anything that in your mind is related to these bullet points. Okay. So that leads into what to do, because I've been coaching people about this for a long time. And here's my answer to you. You do not leave the field blank. Do not skip it. What you do is put in not applicable, or as we've listed here, N/A, which is the equivalent for not applicable. Okay. Or whatever else you want to put in there, like, but not applicable is like, I think the most common sense thing to say, the most neutral thing to say. But the reason we tell you to put that in there is because a lot of these systems are set up that if you leave a field blank, it either pushes you down the application pile or it tosses you altogether. So if you see an illegal question, not applicable, NA, that's what you're putting in there, okay? Because at least that way, if they get the rest of your application and you filled in every field and they really do have a reason why they need you to answer that question, they could at least call you and clarify. And then maybe once they clarified, you'd say, oh, that makes sense. Okay, I'll give you my answer. Does that make sense? So it's really important that you all understand that, because I know people get flustered around it, but you still have to fill in the field. Just fill it in with not applicable, okay?